Welcome to the Dogs Are the Best Friends podcast. I'm Emily, and my best buddy, Flynn, is here too. The purpose of this podcast is to bring you some dog stories and a few tips along the way to help you and your best friend communicate. This is episode 10, and today I am sharing with you about my 3 dogs, Morgan, Maisie, and Flynn. Hello, my crazy for the canines friends. Today, I'm talking about my 3 dogs that I have had as an adult. It's been my privilege, and I need to share that. This way you'll understand why I'm so crazy about dogs. First up is Morgan. Morgan is what I call the oops baby. Most people have those later in life, but she was my first dog as an adult. I went to the Humane Society with a friend of mine to find an orange cat. And guess what I brought home? Yep, a puppy. Now, I went there thinking, oh, they won't have a German Shepherd Husky mix. I don't know why I was fixated on getting a German Shepherd Husky mix, but I was. I went there. There she was, this beautiful little girl, 8 weeks old, just spayed. I fell in love because she put her little face in my hand. And I had read about how to, check out a dog, a puppy. So, you see if they're fearful, and you just try to see a little bit about their personality, if they're inquisitive, if they are playful. And she fit the bill, everything that I wanted. And my ex, who was not my ex at the time, had told me, don't bring home a dog. Well, I brought home a dog. And somebody didn't talk to me for 2 whole days. But she was a dog you couldn't help but fall in love with. She was so sweet and very smart. She actually was not a Husky or a German Shepherd mix to my belief, let's put it that way. Through the years, I got to understand about different dogs and meet people with different breeds. And somehow I got connected with the Malinois Society, if you will. That was actually a message board that was on, back in the day, sitstay.com had a forum, like a message board. And I got to meet someone that was on that board. She happened to be in the same city, same area that I was. And she took a look at Morgan and said, no, that's a Malinois. She has, this, and this. So, okay. I figured she knew better than I did. And I really believe Morgie was coyote. Yes, I say coyote. I believe she was part coyote. The shape of her and her wildness. This dog was wild. It was so hard to train her. I took her to group training. The trainer couldn't help. I took her to other group training. The trainer couldn't help. And what I really should have done, I suppose, is just buckle down and spend some money with a trainer. But I was too cheap. So I had this wild dog. And we ended up calling her Morgan the Maniac because she was just so crazy and hard to train and hard to control. She was super sweet, but she was embarrassing. If we had company over, she would just, she wouldn't just bark. She would just do this high-pitched, horrible sound. So you couldn't greet each other. She was jumping on people. Not ideal, right? That's not the kind of dog that you want when you have company. But it didn't matter. I was crazy in love with her, and she was my sweetie. She was so regal, biggest brown eyes, beautiful girl, huge heart, and she just loved me. And that was it. I was in love with dogs. She hooked me. She pulled me in. Morgan really was my biggest teacher because you just have to not give up on your dog, and you have to listen to your dog. She had a bunch of different things going on with her, from her skin issues to her behavior. I learned about how to feed her much better food. It reduced her skin issues tremendously. And then she wasn't tortured, by her own skin. And her behavior, well, I just started talking to people and asking questions. And you start doing that and you just put your hand out. And dog lovers, we help each other, don't we? So whether you're looking for a good vet or you need training help, and that's what I'm hoping to extend here, of course. But I also love sharing these stories. We need to share. We need to tell each other these stories. They need to be heard. I don't want it to die with the dog, right? I lost Morgie 2015. She was just 16 by a month, and it was time. They always say, you'll know. And I thought, that's ridiculous. How am I going to know when it's time to let her go? Well, she let me know. And it turns out that, yes, her kidneys were shutting down and she had dementia. And so she lived a good life. I'm so grateful for her. Morgie will always be, she just has a special place in my heart. She was my first dog as an adult, and I learned so much from her. Part of me feels guilty because I just knew so little. But you have to start somewhere, don't you? And I know Morgie understands that. And you know what? She still loves me from wherever she is. I believe that. So fast forward to when Morgan's 5 and Maisie comes into my life. But it wasn't for a long time. Morgie was about 3 and I wanted another dog. And Morgan was so smart I didn't want to get a stupid dog because, well, she would have just made a fool of it, basically, right? So I researched and researched and researched, and I just kept coming back to Border Collies. And I thought, people are telling me I would be insane to get a Border Collie. They're so high energy and they're so smart, and why would you take that on? But I just kept finding Border Collie owners and asking questions, and I thought, you know what? The one owner, she was also a trainer, and she said, you know what? You'll be fine. You are a caring dog mama. You can train her. It'll work out. Don't worry about it. And she actually helped me find the breeder where I got Maisie from, and she went that day when I picked out Maisie Lou. And Maisie Lou, oh my gosh, where do I begin? I'm going to try to not cry here, folks, because this dog was so amazing. And an absolute gift from God. All my dogs are. There's no doubt in my mind. Maisie Lou, I consider her my soul dog. Now, you hear people talk about heart dogs, and they're just that irreplaceable dog. When they pass away, you just can't expect to ever find a dog like that again. I actually think my buddy Flynn, who I'll talk on in a little bit, I actually think he might be my heart dog, but Maisie was my soul dog. This dog was like my sister. She just knew me so well. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, 2 years I researched, found her. I actually liked her brother more. He was beautiful, and, well, she was too. She was gray and white. They call it blue and white. Gorgeous girl. But the boy had like a lightning bolt on his forehead, and it was adorable. But, oh my gosh, I took him out to play and, temperament test him and everything. Oh no, he was crazy. He was beyond crazy. So then I started looking at other puppies and saw Maisie, and she was beautiful. And the breeder actually almost kept her to breed her, because she had such a gorgeous gray color. Well, I got her, brought her home. Oh my goodness, folks. She was called Crazy Maisie. So you had Morgan the Maniac, right? Crazy Maisie. She would do what Morgan did, right? Bark at the wrong times, make a lot of noise when people came to visit, jump on people. Not good. And so guess what? There's 2 things in common with these dogs. Yep. It was me. I was not training them properly. Comes down to the owner, doesn't it? So I had to suck it up and get to work. Maisie was also smart and a lot less stubborn than Morgan. Morgan was that wild coyote girl. And I got her to a point. When she was 5, she started to calm down and get better. Maisie, on the other hand, was so smart. And when I started to engage with her more and train her, boy, did she respond. And that's what they need. Dogs need someone to lead them, right? Not be the alpha dog that like whips them on the floor and just like bosses them around. And yeah, I did that with Maisie, I'll be honest with you, because she was bullying my Morgan. Oh, I have to tell you this story. This is a golden story. Maisie was still a puppy, pretty young, right? So what happened was I put the food down. Morgan loved her food. She would let Maisie push her around over everything. Everything. She's like, whatever, you little punk. But Maisie, this one day, decided to really be a stinker and started to go for Morgan's food. Well, Morgan just bared her teeth and right in her face. Maisie, the next thing I know, underneath her, I see this puddle spreading out from underneath her. So there you go. Morgan said, nope, you can push me around, but not take my food. Love it. You gotta love dogs. They put their foot down at a certain point as well. Well, Maisie, oh gosh, guys, I don't even know how to put it into words still. I lost her 3 years ago. Just literally ripped out my heart. And I will be talking about this in another episode because I think we need to talk about these soul dogs, these dogs that just are so important to us, and when we lose them, it is absolutely devastating. When Morgan died, I still had Maisie Lou with me, so it was really hard, but at least Maisie was there to comfort me. When Maisie passed on, I had nobody, and it was the roughest time. Maisie had seen me through some really difficult times: depression, divorce, moving to a whole nother state with no friends, just so many different changes that I went through. And she was there, my one constant thing, one constant spirit that stayed with me and supported me and loved me. And she got me on a routine, right? You have to walk your dog. Now, this dog was a farm dog. We had lived on over 100 acres, and she had free rein. And then we had to move to basically the city or the suburbs, if you will. So a 10-year-old dog, she had to get used to being on leash and living a very different life. She did it. So folks, don't tell me that your 10-year-old, your 12-year-old dog can't learn. They really can. I promise you, they really can. Just you have to know what their love language is, right? You have to know if it's treats or love or toys or whatever it is. But Maisie Lou just was amazing. She and I would go for a walk, and so many people, if I stopped and talked to them, they would say, your dog is watching you for every, facial movement and your voice, and she is engaged with everything that you're saying. She wants to know and listen to everything. And it was true. She was just an unbelievable dog. Either before I thought something or right as the thought came into my mind, she knew, folks. I didn't say anything. I hadn't even gotten up to do it or go somewhere or whatever it was. And she knew. She was just amazing. And she was such a blessing. And I don't know if I'll ever have a dog like her again. But you know what? Flynn, man, he has really stepped up, I have to say. So I don't know. He's going to devastate me when I lose him as well. Maisie became this amazing, well-behaved dog, folks. So if I can go from having Morgan the Maniac and Crazy Maisie to having well-behaved dogs, guess what? You can too. So if you're frustrated and you're listening to this, take heart. It's not over. It's never over. We can figure it out. If I can figure it out, gosh, anybody can figure it out. Maisie Lou died at 13 and a half. And sadly, it was of bone cancer. But I had 13 years with her, and I'm so grateful. Now, I wanted her to be 20, 50, whatever. Right? When you have that kind of a dog, you want them to last forever. But I'm so grateful to have had her in my life for all those years. And let me tell you one more thing about Maisie. She loved me her whole life. But once I left that person that was not treating me well and not respecting me, because sometimes Maisie would give me a little attitude, folks, and usually it was just about like her food. When I put down her food, she would kind of snarl and, growl at me if I went to take it back. And after I left that person that was not the right person for me, wow, she did a 180. She respected me. They are wise and they watch everything and they're so knowledgeable because they love you. They don't see through, they do see rather, I should say. They do see through that facade that you put up. You're strong and you try to act like everything is okay. Your dog knows. They know. They don't put up with the baloney. They know. So listen to your dog. And of course, I hope that you'll listen to your heart. Next dog. Next and last dog to talk about. Well, I'm crazy about border collies, right? I had Maisie. She was wonderful. She died. I was so lonely. 3 months later, I was looking for another dog. I thought I wouldn't want another dog for 30 years, because I just was so devastated. I literally would weep and wail for Maisie. Never in my life have I done that. Not for my divorce, not for anything. I started calling around looking for somebody that was about to have some border collie puppies. A good breeder, right? Reliable. Called around and found someone. And he said, well, I have this dog that's pregnant. Yes, and she'll be having puppies. And then I have this other dog. He's a year and a half, and you might like him. And I thought, oh boy, I don't want your problem dog there, mister. Because I hadn't met Billy yet. And so if you haven't listened to Billy, go back and listen to that episode. It's about the border collies, and sheep herding, by the way. So I thought, all right, well, fine, I'll come and meet these dogs. So I arrive, and Billy is a blacksmith. So he has this gorgeous, huge metal gate. And I'm waiting at the gate, and those two dogs, the pregnant mom, who was Bella, I believe, and Flynn, who was called Glenn at the time, came running up to me. Now Bella was like, I sniffed you, I'm out. She's Billy's dog. Flynn, he was so happy to see me, and he stuck around, and I got to know Billy a little bit, stayed and talked about dogs and, just sheep herding and everything, because we're dog people. We could talk forever, right? So Flynn and I just became buddies, and I thought, my gosh, this is a sweet dog, and he doesn't seem to have huge issues. I did see his one little issue, which I'll have to try to find a video of it. I took one not too long ago, because guess what? He still does it. It's where he takes his paw and shoots some little bit of soil back behind him, and then flips around and chases it, if you will. It's just like he created his own game. Well, Flynn, I was hooked. So I told Billy I would like him. I was actually going to Ireland, and I wanted to see if I could pick him up after Ireland. And Billy said, of course. So off I went to Ireland with my good friend, came back, and I think it was just a few days or so later, met Billy halfway and got Flynn. Now, Flynn is originally from Ireland, which is kind of neat. He came over at 6 months old and was with Billy until almost a year and a half, and that's when I got him. Flynn did not have major issues. I just want to encourage you, if there's a dog out there that you think you might like, maybe they'll have some issues, but dogs are so amazing that you can work that out in some way or another. It might not be quite the way you think, but it can be worked out. So Flynn and I have become fast friends, and I cannot imagine my life without him. He's intelligent and incredibly sweet. Now, Maisie was alpha, right? So I had to be the alpha dog and let her know I was the leader. Flynn, on the other hand, he's so relaxed. I keep calling him chill. And I keep saying he's not really a border collie. He's so relaxed, easygoing, but he's so steady. And he's amazing. Just today, we were out walking around. He was off leash because I could trust him, and we're in an area right now where it's safe. And a black bear came out of nowhere behind this house, ran across the road. Flynn wanted to run after him. So he just showed me he is unbelievably brave, too, because he just wanted to go investigate. I don't know if he thought he could play with it or what, but thankfully, he's well-trained, and I told him to lie down. I did have to say it twice, but he did do it. And so I'm grateful, because I don't know what that I don't know, it wasn't a baby, but it was like a teenage size black bear. I don't know what it would have done to Flynn, right? It might have just run away, but if Flynn kept running after it, I don't think it would have been good. Back to Flynn and just explaining about our friendship. Flynn has become my best buddy. Totally trust him. He is a fast learner, super sweet. Now he's opposite of Maisie, and this is a good thing, don't you think? If he was just like Maisie, it probably would be kind of weird. But Maisie was into people, and Morgan was too, and they didn't really care for other dogs. Flynn, he likes other dogs, but what he likes most is chasing squirrels and balls and learning and training, and he is just a delight. Inside, he's all about being snuggly. He has come a long way, and I just love him dearly. That is the story of my 3 dogs so far. They have been so instrumental in my life in so many different ways. All 3 of them brought different gifts and abilities and different kind of love, and I just can't tell you how grateful I am for them. I hope you enjoyed hearing about them. Please be sure that if you want to share your story, go on to my website, dogsarethebestfriends.com, and fill out the contact form and let me know that you're interested in sharing about your dog. Next week, there's an episode about a dog that is a diabetic alert dog, and his owner is April. So please come back for that episode. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I have a migraine. That is why this episode is coming out later than usual. and why I'm not quite me. But thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe so that when I bring out the next episode, it just comes right to you. Also, please share and tell your other friends that are crazy dog lovers, or crazy for the canines, I should say. Let them know about this if you think they would enjoy these stories. And again, if you have a story to share, be sure to let me know about it by going to my website, dogsarethebestfriends.com. Please hug your dogs and cherish them.